Welcome back to Color Class. I'm Sarah, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the differences between a soft spring and a soft autumn. And it's not a big difference, but there is one major thing that defines the two. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you are a paid member over on Patreon, don't forget you can download all the palettes completely free so you can compare and contrast any of them. But I want to talk about what they have in common. So first thing, if we're looking at the 6 dominant characteristics, let's talk about temperature. Both are warm, and if we're talking about clarity, both are soft. What does soft mean exactly? We like to say ishy. If you describe yourself as you have blondish, brownish, reddish, goldenish hair, if you're brownish, auburnish with some blonde in there, it's very ishy. I just had to describe my hair as a bunch of different things to encompass what it is. If you also describe your eye color, it's like this grayish, bluish, greenish color. There's a lot of things happening. So they are not blue eyes. You don't have red hair. You have a mixture of those, making it softer. Softer means that it has a little bit more neutrality compared to the other seasons. So there's a mix going on, which means your colors are going to have a mixture. We are going to be mixing shades to create that soft palette. Unlike a clear palette, which we would have very defined colors. They would be pure, they would be clear, they would be intense. With the 2 palettes that we are talking about today, you won't see icy colors, you won't see neon colors, you also won't see very high contrast shades like black and white. Everything's going to be more muted and softened. But something they do have in common is the earthy, gentle quality. And that is what makes these palettes very similar. Now, I will say where traditional color analysis gets confused is some color analysts are only trained on a 4 palette system, a 6 palette system, a 12, a 16. So as color class moves through all the systems, we are adding more to each of the buckets. So you may have been designated as a soft autumn, for example, and felt like not all the colors work for you. Well, that might have been because your color analyst was trained on the 12 seasons and they did not have the opportunity to go into the 16 palette system, for example. And what's funny, the other day is I was online scrolling through Reels on Instagram. And when we first got into talking about the different systems, adding more systems, neutrality, changing seasons, we faced a lot of backlash. And now the fact is I came across a color analyst who was trained in the 12 palette system talking about the added seasons. And she also was adding a soft spring to her mix. So it's really exciting to see the evolution of how this is changing because this concept has been around forever and it really got popularized in the 80s and then expanded upon. And now we're even learning about these shifts of people softening over time. If you notice, you start to go softer as you age. You might see more, especially with your hair, you're starting to gray. That black hair isn't jet black anymore. It starts to have strands in it. That red hair isn't red anymore. It starts to shift more of like a golden blonde to a white. So there are shifts happening through our ages that can change our palette. So this is where I come into the differences between the two. If you were to look at a soft spring, you would see they are light, they are warm, and they are soft. So all of the shades are going to mimic that. They're going to be light, soft, and warm. For a soft autumn, the only difference is we are talking deep, warm, and soft. So if we were looking at a spectrum of colors, you would see lighter, softer, warmer shades versus what happens when we add depth to them, making them soft autumn shades. And those are the differences. And I want to give you a celebrity who kind of goes that spectrum from light to deep, and that happens to be Gigi Hadid. Now, we're going to have some fun with Gigi Hadid in a second by changing her hair color completely. But right now, we're going to stay on that warm spectrum She has softer eyes, she has softer hair tones majority of the time, and she goes from light to deep in these photos. So take a look. If we were looking at her shades on the left-hand side, they are going to want to gravitate towards lighter colors because she is lighter. And then we move into the middle tones. Those shades start to get a little bit deeper and deeper as we move darker. So this is a really great example of how that coloring can shift from lighter tones all the way to some deeper tones, moving from a soft spring, maybe a medium depth. So somebody who is medium in depth, they are warm and they are soft, all the way to a soft autumn, which is deep, warm, and soft. Now, one thing that I have to talk about is what happens if you completely dye your hair. Gigi Hadid is a model, I believe she's also done some acting, so she has been in movies before, and sometimes rules will change and you dye your hair. Let's take a look at what happens if she goes and becomes more clear. So here we have her in a very platinum blonde hair color versus a very dark black hair color. If you notice, her clarity increases. Her eye color becomes more clear because she now is more clear with that hair color. Her lip color, also the lighting. So when we wear brighter, more clear colors like I did today, if you notice, I changed some things on myself. My makeup, I became more clear with my makeup and more intentional. I did a brighter, redder lip. I pulled my hair back to darken it. There are so many things that we can do to adjust. Now, this is just me having fun. It has nothing to do with a soft spring versus a soft autumn. This is my one-off topic that I get every single video, but I just wanted to showcase what happens when you add more clarity. How can you adjust yourself to match something that might not be within your season? Now, I will get back to our regular programming. Let's take a look at some of the colors that you might find in a soft spring versus a soft autumn. So soft springs, think of soft sages. Think of a light sage. Think of a light, warm, with a little bit of mixture in that aqua coloring. Think of a soft peach. I hate to keep saying soft. That's why I'm trying to think of other adjectives. I guess I could say muted. Muted ivories, light camels, in those colorings that say lighter side. Versus the exact same thing, just make them a little bit deeper. So those sages become a little bit deeper. Those aquas become a little bit deeper. And it's not a huge difference. Now, this is where things get a little bit confusing. And I want to talk about when we get clients that come to us and say, I was designated as a soft autumn, but all the colors feel too deep and harsh for me. Well, in certain palettes, soft spring isn't available. So sometimes you might get pushed into a palette that's not perfect because it's not available in the system that color analyst trained in. So if you do feel like you were designated as a soft autumn and all the shades are a little too deep, you might just be a soft spring and you need to raise those shades up to be a little bit lighter. So your power shades are going to fall more in the teals, the aquas, the blues, the greens, all the corals that I'm missing. So just have that in the back of your mind. You can always do a custom color portfolio with us. You can even be medium depth. A lot of our clients come to us and they are neither light nor deep. They are medium depth. So their coloring is pulling from both. We're pulling from the deeper sides of the spring and we're pulling from the lighter sides of the autumn to create that custom palette. So the biggest takeaways I want you to remember between a soft autumn and a soft spring, it is not about temperature. Both are warm. It is not about clarity. Both are soft. It is all about the depth. And that's why the 6 dominant characteristics is so important. It is such a critical part of the color analysis process. And I know because color does live on a spectrum that if you are in those medium, neutral, balanced, mid-contrast territories, it might be extremely confusing in color analysis because those palettes are not talked about or readily available. But that's why we create custom color portfolios. So Don't forget to leave a comment down below. If you want to help us out, we do have YouTube memberships and you can support us over on Patreon. You get a bunch of perks with both of them, so I highly recommend checking them out. And lastly, I'm Sarah. This has been another color class and I'll see you in our next video.